Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of PKM Weekly. So it's been a while, but here we are yet again, so let's see what's been in store for us from the past few weeks or so. First up, Obsidian. They've got the Future of Obsidian plugins. This was announced a few days ago on the 12th of May, so with the Obsidian plugins now passing 120 million total downloads and 4,000 plugins and themes in the directory, the team has launched the Obsidian community site. And what it basically allows you to see is the new community directory. You can browse, search, filter across various different categories, charts, release dates, update date, etc. Automated reviews for every version. So until now, the initial submission was manually reviewed. This new system scans every single release, which is great. So a lot more security and a lot more safety. Backlog cleared. Over 2,300 queued submissions were processed in the days leading up to the launch, which is great. So some more plugins. Developer dashboard, that's if you develop a plugin, and coming soon so you can see network, file system, clipboard, etc. What's it going to be using when you install the plugin. And if you just check out the community website, browse 3,821 plugins, 515 themes. So you can search at the top, see the popular plugins, what's new, what's been recently updated, and as well as sort by category or see what plugins are available in each category, and then do something similar for the themes. And if we just check on one of them, so for example, Notebook Navigator, you can see who's developed it, how many downloads it has, add to Obsidian with one click, view on GitHub, report bug, request feature, report plugin, see a few screenshots, a few keywords, the health of it and how it's reviewed, which then you can click on it and see what's the detail behind it. And same with the review section, I believe. Oh, sorry, the review was here already. So you can see what's happening and what's been checked and some various different other things in terms of more details of the plugin. So some great stuff from the Obsidian team on that one. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays up. Obsidian roadmap. So I think from the last time I posted it, it has been updated. So in the active side, we've now got Kanban view for bases. So display files in side-by-side Kanban boards, as well as settings search. So you can search settings a lot easier. And then the plan things is the usual one, which hasn't really changed. A few interesting Reddit posts that I've come across. So let's just check these out. Obsidian is great for notes, but what are you using for PDFs, screenshots, bookmarks, and videos? So this got 207,000 likes and 105 likes, 105 comments. So what you can basically see, my current mess looks like this: hundreds of PDFs, screenshots of charts, slides, Twitter threads, etc., bookmarks, downloaded videos. How basically are you using it all? So do check it out, because there's a few things which are in here which are well worth having a look and testing out. Obviously just be aware that a lot of them are just published adverts from developers themselves, so just tread carefully with that one. And the other one was Obsidian for University Notes. Is this efficient? So OP's just asking, been using Obsidian for University Notes for the past 1.5 years, and what is the best way to basically make it as efficient as possible? So some great stuff in there. If you are a student or if you want to use Obsidian for learning, definitely worthwhile checking this out and the comments that have been raised. So that's that from Obsidian. Thymer, there is no sign of the beta release just as yet, but the devs are working hard on it. There are talks about the beta release in the Discord, but no date has been given, but it is getting closer and closer. So I think the devs just want to tidy up a few more things just to make it as polished as possible before they open up to the masses. And one of the cool things that has recently been implemented is that you can now add in properties to various different notes based on the type of note that you want it to be. So for example, properties related to books, it will show the books ones. Properties related to movies or filled in even, it will just basically show it change based on what you select. So some great stuff from the Thymer team on that one. Capacities, they've had a very busy few weeks. So just to recap briefly, release 61, media analysis for your images, and well worthwhile checking out each link of what it actually means and how you can use it, because some of these updates are incredible. Release 62, that was AI chat connectors, so you can now connect your GPT, Claude, LeChat, Cursor, etc. with other MCP tools. Related content deadline and search, that was release number 63, so related content, top 5 notes related to what you're on, task deadlines, and search 3.0 was released. And then the big one, which was just released this month, is recurring tasks and choose your AI model. So recurring tasks, obviously you keep working on the same task. Capacity logs each occurrence and moves the data to the next one once it's been ticked. And multi-provider AI, the AI chat now supports OpenAI, Gemini, Anthropic, Mistral and XAI models with a visible indicator showing which are hosted in the EU data centers, just to make sure where for GDPR and how your AI budget is going. So well worthwhile checking all these updates from the Capacities teams, because they are releasing some quality things in the app. Tana, they've had a little bit of a shift, as we discussed previously. So Tana current in last month, April 21, covered a lot of ground, and basically the takeaway points were Q2 theme for Tana Outliner is improving day-to-day experience, subscribers get both products for a limited period of time. The new Tana pricing is going to be $20 a month for now. They don't know how we're going to bundle them into one project. They don't know if they're going to bundle them into one product or not yet. I've not seen anything on that one. And I've not seen actually the release of the new app, so that'll be interesting to see when that comes out. So a few things just to keep an eye on that one. And then a couple of days ago, they released the 13th of May Outliner update. So drag and drop between groups, copy ID command, backup audio recordings for meetings, paste code, and various different other tweaks that they've implemented within Tana Outliner. So well worthwhile having a look at that one if you're interested. Logseq, they've had a lot of updates and quite a substantial number of updates as well. So thank you, Danzo, for this great update that you've posted on the Logseq discourse site. So let's just check it out in high level. So as you know, Logseq is splitting into two versions. So one is going to be the original Logseq and one's going to be the DB version. That's just to make the code a lot easier. So obviously the focus is going to be on the DB, but the devs have said that they will keep the OG or the original Logseq alive. Sync testing is now open to sponsors and backers, so you'll get an invite soon. Markdown mirror, this is great. So as it's using a database, what it can do through Logseq is that you can make it have a markdown versions of the same file on your directory, on your hard drive, so that you have the best of both. So you can have the performance and the features of Logseq DB, whilst still making sure that you have the MD version of the files on your hard disk somewhere so that you can keep them forever. And they are testing out two-way sync, so if you change something in one file, let's say in the DB version, that will update the MD version, and if you open the MD file, that should update the DB version automatically. Logseq CLI is now a real thing. Graph version 2.0, which is a bit of an update that the team is playing around with in terms of experimental feature for the graph. So you can see how they're testing out a different graph view, new asset property type, recurring tasks, and various different other things that the team are implementing. And with that, the team has also released a public roadmap, so you can see where they're at, what they're doing. So this is actually published on Logseq publish. So you can see this is what they've been up to, this is what they're doing, still a few things that they need to do, and where they're at in terms of releasing the app. And you can check it out into more details, and as well, oops, that wasn't a bad example, but you can see how Logseq works and how it will look on Logseq Publish, and you can play around with the colouring as well. So some great stuff from the Logseq team. Great to see some updates from them, because it's been quite quiet of late. Octarine, they've also continued at a bit of a relentless pace, 5 releases in the past 4 weeks or so. So quite a lot of updates, meta sidebar for properties, so now the properties show up on the sidebar as opposed to at the top. I think it's a great addition because it just means that your notes are quite tidy and you can see the properties just on the side, so not taking up the note space. Sidebar quick search for notes and templates, pin notes in top breadcrumb, and the meta sidebar and graph view overhaul are updating. And you can see the full updates from Rajat and the team just on the changelog, and it goes into a lot of detail of what's changed and some examples in terms of images and videos. So well worthwhile having a look at that one, because Octarine is a really great and up and coming app. Workflowy, this is an April update, but now you can have Google Calendar sync, so events appear automatically in your calendar node with details and Google Meet join links in line, so you can do that quite easily. And then there's been various different other improvements, so found dates, fix the date mirror nodes, and various different things that have been updated in Workflowy. Heptabase, this has had quite a number of updates as well in the past 6 weeks or month or so. So the big one though is the AI tutor, so that's been released to the public, and it's a great addition just to make your notes interactive as much as possible so that you can find things and learn from your notes as well, rather than them just collecting dust and not being and not doing anything for you. So well worthwhile, as usual, check out the latest update of Heptabase just to see what they've been up to and what's new. Noteey, they've released version 1.55.0, so new features and improvements, optimized memory usage during image import, so that just makes Noteey a lot quicker than it used to be, tag database, card library improvements, and various different other improvements that the app has implemented in the latest version. And as usual with Noteey, you can just check out this brief video.
Noteey version 1.55
and what's new and how you can actually use them to make the most out of them. So that was it for this week. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.